And we are live. I hope so. We're live. Hey guys, can you hear us? Can you see us? What's up, AlphaGuilty community? Yeah, I see that we are live already. Awesome, but the picture looks good. Please tell me how the sound is. I will check the sound right now. Sound also looks very good. Perfect. So hello, AlphaGuilty community. We are here with another live stream and another conversation. I'm still at the Solana Hackathon event. Today, I was able to conquer this podcast room. So you can see the Solana branding behind my back. It will be much more quiet than it was yesterday. So we can have our conversation in peace this time. Today, we're having Ivan from the Chainstack. The Chainstack is the new AlphaGuilty partner, so I would love to announce this as well. Chainstack helps us to develop in a more fast and secure way all of the decentralized application AlphaGuilty is working on. So it's very important for the launchpads and for the smart contracts that are handling your money to be developed in the best way in terms of security. The speed, of course, is not prioritized for the user, but the security is. And the Chainstack helps us with that so much. So we love seeing you here, Ivan. Hey, nice to meet you. Please tell us a little bit about yourself, about the Chainstack. Do us a little presentation.
Yes, thank you so much, Adrian. I actually really happy to be here. I did see I catched your video yesterday, and yeah, I mean it was vibing yesterday, man. You had a lot going on back there, so it's much quieter. Like I had mentioned earlier, I really like your background there. Loving that you got that little workroom there to yourself, so that's great. Chainstack, we're super excited to be partnering up with AlphaGuilty. I mean, a little bit about myself. I am the developer relations for Chainstack. There's a few of us that have this really awesome role, and we all have our strengths. You know, for me, it's the Polygon mainly, but you know, we cover Solana. You know, like you're there at their event. You know, we also cover BSC, Ethereum. I mean, we're up to like 13, 14 chains right now. So we are growing very quickly, and we love to see other growing projects, you know, use Chainstack and basically grow with us. Now, for me personally, you know, I've been in crypto about 2 years now, and dipped my toes into this infrastructure this year. And man, I've learned so much about projects, and it's made me so much more knowledgeable, and it's also made me more excited to work directly with developers. You know, having that conversation with developers like you guys there at AlphaGuilty who are creating this awesome platform for people is really exciting. It like when I wake up in the morning, I'm happy to go to work, and I'm happy to talk to you guys. So I appreciate you having us on and us having an opportunity to talk with each other.
Yeah, man, we're very glad also to see you and to see you as our partners as well. So the structure of our meeting we'll be talking with you a little bit, and after we do, there will be some questions from our community. So guys, please ask your questions. The most interesting ones will be picked up and announced. You can win some money, some tokens afterwards. So be subscribed to our socials and be active on the live streams, because we're doing the giveaways constantly. And yesterday we had so many interesting and technical questions that it was very, very astonishing, and it was very interesting for me to hear an answers to them. So like yesterday we had a very interesting AMA session, and I hope that today's will beat it 100 times, and we will have we'll continue with the dynamics of this growth of interest over time. So please, can you tell us, in simple words, for non-technical people, what is Chainstack? So what you do for the non-technical user, non-programmer.
So we basically help with infrastructure. So the simplest way that I like to explain to my family that they're not so into it. I mean, a lot of them are not even into crypto. Is we help developers once they have their smart contract, DApp, DEX, whatever it is that they're ready to show to the world. We help them connect directly into their specific blockchain. So if it's going to be Polygon that you're going to work with, then we help provide that hardware, software or the hardware that you need in order to be able to actually run on that blockchain and be competitive, right? Because part of being on the blockchain is being competitive and making sure that your transactions are running accordingly and that your community trusts that you are legitimate. And for that, you need consistency. And although there is a way for you to, get the service free through some of these blockchains, the consistency is not there. So we provide an upper hand to those applications that are being built by the developers in order to be able to make them faster, make them more secure, and make it more available and decentralized. And essentially, that's what we all want in this space.
Mm-hmm. I see. Great, man. Thank you. What is the business model? So if I got you right, you are charging like as a SaaS, like as a regular one. You are not like charging anything like per transaction, but you are just selling an access to your technical tools for the developers, and that's your main revenue model, or there's something else?
Yeah, so the main revenue model is just the way you explained it. Now there are added features that you can get, and it really depends on the application. For games, for example, right? We're seeing some games that need more. I guess you could say more than just simple transactions. And then we see dexes that also need specific styles of transactions. And we provide those added benefits, obviously at an added cost. But I think what sets us apart from other infrastructure companies that people may have heard of is that we are full service. We provide anything, and we almost customize to any style that you need. So if it's not built yet and you need it because it's going to be feasible for your company, we will build it for you and we will make it better and faster than anybody else. So, and like a lot of people have heard of other infrastructure, companies. And what I like about Chainstack is, I mean, we've been, the company itself hasn't been on for a super long time, but just in the last like 3 months or so, we've like 3 to 4x the amount of employees that we have at Chainstack, and that's how fast we're growing. And we're growing with the help of projects as well, like you guys that need specific needs that we can provide. So part of it is, yes, we provide our service and SaaS, like you mentioned. We don't charge per transaction. Obviously, each plan has its limits, and if it goes beyond that, then yes, you're going to pay for added transactions. But we're not going to stop you. We're not going to say, "Oh, you've reached your limit," and we're going to stop your, your access, because that's going to hurt your customers, and we don't want that.
I see, man. And you mentioned that you were growing so much for the months. So it was like really the baddest bear market for the last time, like for the last, like I would say. And you were growing. So what is your hiring policy? Who do you hire? What are your metrics for the growth? So how do you measure it? Do you measure it like an amount of paying customers, or the actions that are done with you, or how do you measure that?
That's a good question. And I mean, I'm not in the direct finance team, but the way we measure it from the developer relations standpoint is transactions, right? When we in the last 3 months, we've seen an increase in our transactions, and we see an increase of developers wanting to work with Chainstack. I mean, probably in the last 3 months, we have gotten some of the most amount of people in our basic plan. And what's beautiful about that is that that's where they start. They started this plan where it's like the beginner and everything's free. And then within a month or two, they're moving up to the next plan. And now we're talking to them. And now we have a conversation going about what their project needs. And they can continue to scale through us. So the best form for us has been an increase in transactions. So even during this bear market, transactions skyrocketed and they continue to go up. And then the other one is each protocol has been growing in the last 3 months during this bear market. Even though we're in a bear market, we didn't stop growing our subscriptions in each of our categories, which was really something that when we saw that, we realized that we needed to hire more people in order to line up and be able to basically add enough people and staff to help all these customers that are coming into our platform.
And what team is behind the Chainstack? So like how big it is, what do people do? So maybe like even if we go to more detail, what are you looking for in programmers? So what languages they need to know? What do you need them to, like, what technologies they need to be familiar with? How does that work? Like how big you are and how skillful you are?
Yeah, so for the developer relations team, we have a couple of developers on our team that actually have developed their own programs. They, some of them know Solidity and others languages as well. I myself am not a like full-time developer. I know a little bit of development, for myself, but most of our team is comprised of people that either are currently developing their own dApp decks or have developed in the past and have a really good understanding of what developers need in order to make their applications work the way they should be. So, I mean, like any major, I guess, tech company, we have each department is broken up, or our company's broken up into department, right? You got product, you got marketing, you got our content team, you have our highly technical team. Obviously, our biggest team is the people that are trying to make sure that our transactions and our nodes are always running efficiently and effectively for everyone. So that's where we shine. That's where we have some of the best tech team in the industry.
I see. Thank you so much. That was interesting to hear. I've got a question. Do you have your own token?
We do not.
You do not. And do you do you plan to add it? Do you plan to like cryptize? I don't know how to name it yet. So go deeper into that direction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a great point. And to be honest with you, for me, I can give you my opinions, and those would be my opinions, but these are not Chainstacks, because they haven't told us or made any announcement that there's going to be a token or anything of that sorts, or any path that's leading there. For right now, what our main focus is, and this is Chainstack's focus, is to get this right. Like, and the only way you can get this right is by focusing on one thing at a time, one problem at a time, one customer at a time. My personal opinion on tokens is, when you start to tokenize, then you split your focus and you're focusing on two different priorities. And if you really want to be the best at one thing, then that should be your focus. And for Chainstack right now, this is our major focus, is to make sure that we are on the cutting edge of what developers need. And the beautiful thing about crypto is that things haven't been figured out yet. In the Web 2 world, things are figured out. You already know what you need from an infrastructure company, and the infrastructure company knows what you need from them. That hasn't been built yet in Web 3. And that's what Chainstack is trying to do. And that's why when we onboard a new customer, we're very hands-on, because we want to make sure we understand how we're going to grow the space together.
You mentioned that you want to do this right, and what are your priorities for the next, what's your closest roadmap? So what do you plan to show for the community, for the market in the next year, let's say?
Okay, I mean, what I can share with you guys is that we are aggressively trying to add as many blockchains as possible to support the developers that are developing in those blockchains, and for the communities that are passionate about their specific blockchain that they're a part of. That is something that our CTO is very passionate about, and our technical teams are also very passionate about trying to get as many people and as many customers and as many developers the services that they need to to provide the best product and the best experience and the safest experience for our customers as well.
And how do you bring those developers? Do you have some educational programs that onboard them to your product? Do you host like some events? For example, Solana, it's like a very good move that they are organized this hacker house. This is the hackathon where people, they develop something and then they show at the demo day some solutions that they developed. And even though Solana provided, a lot of free food, a lot of entertainment, you can order massage, you can have a free massage here, you can, like, there's everything you could have dreamed of. It's like a Google office for 5 days, it's free to come here, pretty girls on the entrance, everything figured out, beautiful organization. But when you sit down and try to code something on Solana, it's horrible. Coding smart contracts in Solana is the worst experience of my life that I had, because like Solidity, it's so simple, it's so user friendly, so developer friendly, and when you're writing the code in Solidity, it's like you're writing a poem. When you're writing in Solana, it's like, I don't know, it's like you're translating from Japanese to like old Slavic without knowing any of the languages, and like it's so Solana tries hard to onboard the people. How do you do this process?
Well, I mean, to speak to events, I don't know, right? I don't know what we're going to be doing, what Chainstack's going to be doing next year, right? I know that this year, with the way the market's been, and the things that we've learned from previous, bear markets, is that when you put your head down and you do the work during this period, that's when you're going to get 10x 20x your return on your investment and on your work that you're putting in. So right now I can't say what's going to happen next year, and if any of those events are going to be hosted by Chainstack, but I tell you that we are part of a lot of events. We go to we go to a lot of events. Our CTO speaks on some of these forums. We sometimes speak on those forums as well, and probably our main focus is trying to help developers and dApps be more decentralized, and the way we do that is by giving them more options, and those options allow people to not have one central location or one place only that offers the infrastructure, and we provide it for them. You mentioned like they have these hackathons, and we've been a part of hackathons. Are we going to sponsor our own hackathon, man? I don't know, but I think that would be a great idea, and I think that would be awesome for Chainstack to do.
Yeah, I really like the format of hackathons. Is something unique. It's something that it feels like a paradise on earth. It's my first hackathon that I am participating in, but I would love to join some more. And the best thing is Solana feels right now as already like a giant, where you cannot reach to anyone. And when we're talking about the smaller projects, their hackathons, they do not just have all this comfort and all this fun, but they have, in my opinion, this soul when you see the project founders present, for example, or some of the representatives that are pretty high in the hierarchy of the company. So yeah, it would be great if you hosted the hackathon. It would be great to, like, I would love to join personally, and I really believe that you can get much more developers on board with this type of marketing. We've got a lot of questions in the chat right now regarding the security. So when we were coming to Solana hackathon that day, the wallets were hacked. So you obviously, I guess you heard the news that's the Phantom wallet and one more was hacked. So it compromised the private keys. of its holders, of its users, and people got their money stolen out of their wallets. And Solana like even was turned off for some time that day. And when we were coming to the hackathon, it was really funny because there was a Solana hackathon and Solana was not working at the time. So it was a really funny situation. And so regarding all the stuff that constantly happens in the crypto, how are you with the security? Do you have like especially security developers, some security experts who are helping you to deal with all these kinds of hacks? How are you keeping the security of your developers? So how are you keeping that development process as safe as possible? What you do in this domain?
Yeah, no, I think that's a great question, and it's unfortunate what happened to some wallets here for Solana customers, and it's unfortunate. And what's different about us is that we're not writing the specific smart contract, right? Like we're not writing the smart contract that customers are actually interacting with. We're the conduit from your smart contract into the blockchain where the transaction is actually being processed, and there's it's on the ledger and it was completed. So a lot of the security comes in how we protect ourselves and our company from any infiltration that may come from outside into our systems that may impact how we run our business or how we process transactions. And that is something that is really crucial to us. And over the last couple of months, we've seen, major companies that have gotten some type of hack of some sort. And a lot of it has been a smart contract issue or a governance issue. We don't have a token, so there's no governance risk. Smart contract, we don't have a smart contract necessarily that we're working off of, right? This is nodes that we're providing to customers. And it's our nodes have its own level of security, like you would any other infrastructure, any other cloud provider that we have to abide by. So that is secure. Where there's risk is, when there can be an infiltration directly from an employee, right? If an employee opens something, and then that can go into our server, and then from there it would expand into our nodes. That is where we see that we need to increase our security, or not increase because we already have it really high, but where we've seen that there could be some type of issue. So for us, the security that we have as employees and the way that we've been conditioned to make sure that we're protecting not only our company, but our customers, right? Because ultimately that's who it's going to impact. It's going to impact the customers. And we take that really personally. And we want to make sure that the responsibility is not only on us, but it's also on the customers. Ultimately, they're the ones who are signing our checks, as you say. So security is something that's front of mind. That is not something that I mentioned in the roadmap, because it's something that honestly is on the roadmap every month. Every month there's a security need. Every month there's some type of spot check that we need to make. So security is front of mind for us. And I appreciate the question, because that's something that comes up a lot when we're talking to our customers. So it's good for them to understand that security is something that's super important to us.
Yeah, very glad to hear that. Very glad to hear that, because I was a developer also myself for some time. And I had a chance to work on a cybersecurity project once. And the level of how and the responsibility and all the stuff of how developers had to work with the task that are given, how securely you need to manage, all the secret keys and stuff. It was really something that blew my mind at the time, because previously I was working as a regular development companies that they develop nothing extremely that required extreme security. So it was like the code could be sent in in a file via Telegram message or something like that. When on this startup that was dealing with the cybersecurity, I've seen how it has to be done and how big companies do that. And that's when I started to ask myself and ask the projects that I had a chance to talk with, how they're dealing with the security. Because regarding, like, when you hear the answer, you can understand and you can feel whether these guys are really into providing the best they can in terms of security, or these are just words that everyone says in the market. So yeah, I'm very glad to hear that. We've got a lot of questions in the chat regarding the community building. So could you please bring us some light on what are your community building techniques for now? Do you focus your attention more on the product or on the community around it? Or do you just have, like customers, like leads that you pay for some Google traffic or Facebook traffic? It costs you, I don't know, like $5, brings you $12 back, and that's a business model. Or you're trying to build that community, trying to engage with it, entertain it, do something fun. How are you in this?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. I mean, I can't speak for all of our marketing and everything that goes on, but what I will tell you is that we are aggressively trying to grow organically. We don't want to do that. We don't we don't just want followers for followers. We don't want a thousand Discord users for just to have them there. But I'll be honest with you as well. Our main focus during this bear market has been trying to get our product to where it needs to be, so that we can we can service all the customers' needs. And community building is something that is super important to us. But right, when you think about the last 3 months, what we've been focused on, it's been that. Now, more recently, maybe like a month and a half ago now, our developer advocate team, which is very active on social media, providing blogs and tips to our customers, and to just any follower of them or of Chainstack, and giving them kind of like an idea of what we're trying to build here at Chainstack. So if people go to like chainstack.com, and they click on the top there's a blog there, and we're constantly writing new blogs. Now, on top of that, we've also released an initiative where we're allowing writers to come on board and give us a sample of their writing about a specific topic, dealing with Web3 and infrastructure. And this is made so that we can help build community for writers and for developers that are trying to make their way into the space, or maybe they've already been writing for a while, but they haven't been published. Well, we would publish their article, and they would also get paid for the article. So these are some of the community building things that we've been doing, as well as growing our Discord community. In our growth team that we have, we have a specific rep for NFTs. We have somebody that only focuses on GameFis, somebody that only focuses on DEX and DeFi. And slowly and surely, these customers are being gravitated towards our experts, and they have a following themselves of a community that listens to their advice. One of them that comes to mind is Max. He does a great job in his vertical, which is GameFi, and it's crazy that he comes out of nowhere. He's like, you got to get on this game. This game is going to be great. And he drops alpha on us, on some of the GameFis, and a lot of the following now, listens to his advice and the trends that we see in the GameFi space. Main reason I bring up GameFi is because in the last 3 months, that's probably the vertical that has grown the most. Play to earn or play and earn, however we're going to call it in a month or so, is growing tremendously. And it's great to see that we have someone who's passionate about the GameFi space, just as much as the people that are creating it, and just as much as the customers that are playing it, which gives us an edge when we're trying to build products for them.
Man, I enjoy so much your responses. They are so covering, and they are so widely explaining the internal meaning of the question. Thank you so much for this for the awesome answers to the questions that I ask you. What do you see? Which companies are the main competitors to Chainstack, and how are you better than them?
I mean, you have your traditional ones, right? Like Infura and Alchemy, and you have QuickNode, and they're all great. We all get along, we all play along, and as we're trying to develop the space. There's no champion here yet. We're all still trying to make sure that we provide the best for our customers. And the community, really. So those, I would say, are our main competitors right now. And I'll reiterate what I said a little bit ago, where what makes us different is that if it's not there yet, if it hasn't been built yet, but you need it, then it's something that we're going to build for you. And I think that's different from many of the other infrastructure companies that are out there. They are very clear on what they provide and the services they want to provide. And it's either something that works for you or it doesn't. And that's not our model. Our model is we want to grow the space, and we want to grow with the product that you have and your ideas and the development that you've done. We want to be able to support it. Having to support your own node to run your transactions is very time consuming and cumbersome. And then, like I mentioned before, splitting your time, right? Now you're splitting your time on the technical team that's trying to run this node for you. And then you're also splitting your time on trying to make sure that your project and your community is growing, and that's going to be too difficult. So having a company that is willing to work with you, and you're willing to explain what your goals are and how we can achieve them for you, is something that is not here. No other infrastructure company is doing it at the level that we are. And that's why I'm super, I hate we're using this word bullish because we use it so much, but man, it's what it is, right? I'm bullish, rocket emoji signs if I could, on Chainstack. So yeah.
Yeah, we like at AlphaGuilty, we do share the same perspective, and we do the same as you in terms of development of the features on request of the customer. So we're in constant development, because it's like you see what market needs, and it's not just you came up with some idea and then you pretend like what that you are the one who knows exactly what the market needs. No, when projects come to us and they say that they want this or that, then we're developing that for them at request. We're constantly updating our smart contracts back and front, and so everything is like dynamic as possible, because we want to be the first, we want to be at the edge of technology. We want to support every new feature, even if that new feature comes up first at our launchpad. So that is how like we really feel this words, because we're doing the same. We're doing the same.
Yeah. And I'll add one thing. I'll add one thing. That doesn't happen like by happenstance. Like it doesn't just happen that us and our growth team or our product team thinks this way. It starts from the CTO, right? It starts from him. He has a vision that he wants to accomplish, and he does that. We have a Friday meeting every week, and every week he's there, and every week we hear his passion, and we hear how important it is for him to get this. And you really realize that it's not just a company that we're working for, or just a product that we've built. He's really trying to move the space, and that's what makes me passionate, right, about Chainstack and about the work that we're trying to do for the community.
Yeah, it's very important for the project's founders to be like motivating, and as you said, like to be inspired and inspiring, because like it's impossible one without the other. It's really good that you have these people who dedicate themselves, and they're like all of them to the product that they're building. We've got a question from Lisa. She's asking, what is the biggest milestone your project has, in your opinion, and what is the plan for the future?
I think the biggest milestone, and I know it's gonna maybe I guess seem silly, right? I'm going based off of my my personal view right now of where I've seen Chainstack from an enthusiast of Web3, an enthusiast of crypto, and what I've seen in the last 2 years is that they've been able to integrate so many new blockchains during probably one of the most uncertain times that we've had in crypto in a short while. When you think about the amount of development and product needs and resources that you need to develop or to onboard a new chain, it's humongous. You need a large technical team in order to make sure that you can support whatever new blockchain we're going to be able to add. And during these last, now I want to say 4 or 5 months, I mean, we've added, I think maybe we've added like 5 chains, 4 or 5 chains in just the last couple of months during the time where most people are fearful about, where's crypto going? Is it here to stay? Is it going to go to zero? How long is this bear market going to be? So seeing that to me, and then along with hiring people, massively hiring people, those are two things that I see that is crazy. Now, the other thing is that currently we have 10,000 active nodes, and that's a huge amount. The fact that we have 10,000 active nodes, and when you multiply that by how many people are transacting, you can just see how big and how wonderful we've been able to do this during this short period.
And what is this is like both the next question, but it suits so much to the first one. Like, what in all of this is, what's your favorite feature, and what is the thing that you are most confident in?
My favorite feature, I'd have to say, I don't know if I consider this a feature, but I think it's something that when we look at other competitors, or even you look at any, any service, it's that we have a dedicated team or a dedicated person to that one vertical. And again, I don't know if that's right. It's not really a service necessarily that somebody can use, but having somebody that has been working with, let's say, 1,000 projects in just a month, and then you're speaking to a project that is in your vertical, the amount of knowledge that they can share about each other and other projects is tremendous. Like you don't get that from somewhere else, right? If you go to a service provider, you're going to go online and you're going to choose your service that you want, and then you start up, right? And right now, this service that I'm talking about, our enterprise level service, where our customers that are transacting, a ton of transactions monthly. These customers get to interact with our experts that not only help with processing your request, but they also give you some knowledge and insight on what is happening in that current vertical. And I think no other company, right, has that service. So yeah, I mean, aside from that, we truly value every single customer that comes to us, and we are building whatever they want. So maybe that service that that you're talking about maybe hasn't been built yet, but it will. It will. I know it will.
Yeah, and thank you so much for your response. And also, Matt is texting us that I love Chainstack as my Infura provider because they have the most transparent pricing and they pay for what I use. And there's a lot of comments. I'm just like skipping them because I want to get to the questions and ask you all of the questions that the people are asking in the chat. But there's a lot of stuff that people say about some warm words about the Chainstack. So yeah, you just need to know that people love you.
Yeah, I mean, and to talk about one specific, Chainstack service that we offer clients, my favorite one is probably Bolt Sync Tech. And that basically what it does is it supercharges, your node, which syncs the transaction, the data a lot quicker. So that will make it easier for anybody who's trying to process transactions, instead of having to wait. That is something that we want to make sure that our developers are able to do quickly and get them up and running, because it's a big deal, right? If you're not able to process your transaction when you want, and when you're running your own node or even using other nodes, they don't have that, and we do.
Okay, got you. One more question is, how many clients does Chainstack have right now? And do you also limit accepting new clients? It's a question from Balbanida.
Can you repeat the second part of the question?
Do you limit accepting new clients?
Oh, no, we don't. I mean, they could sign up to our platform, and we do not limit any new clients from coming in. We want to help as many customers as possible. Now, to how many customers we have, I mean, I know we have over 10,000 active nodes, but how many of those are customers? I don't know, but I will tell you that 10,000 number is really important, because, one customer, could have 3 nodes, 4 nodes, 5 nodes, and the average you'd say is, let's say 3 or 5. So I guess you could multiply that and get to your number of customers approximately. But, over 10,000 nodes, we're helping a massive amount of customers.
Okay, I see. Thank you so much. So I do not see any more questions from the chat. I just see some words of appreciation, and I asked a lot of technical questions also from the chat. So thank you guys who are listening for being active. Once again, we will be hosting the giveaway regarding the most interesting question on our Telegram channel. So please join that one. And also, Ivan, would you love to say like some call to action, some closing remarks to our community?
Yes. Go join our Discord. Go join our Discord and go to our Chainstack Twitter, at Chainstack HQ. Go and chat it up with some of our developer advocates and developer relations team. We'd be happy to talk to anybody. If there was any questions out there that you thought weren't answered, you can come on over and we can answer them for you. But yeah, I say go join our Discord. Go give us some GMs. We love GMs, and we love memes like anybody else. So come over and share your best memes, your best GMs. We would love to see you on our Twitter and our Discord.
Awesome, and thank you for being so open. I'm going to follow all the links that you mentioned myself, and specifically for knowing when you will be hosting your hackathon. And I really want you to also do a lot of free food and pretty girls. So yeah, I really hope we'll see that. We'll see the hackathon from the Chainstack in the nearest future. And yeah, thank you, man, for joining us. Thank you for the interesting conversation. Thank you, guys, for all the questions, for all the activities. I'm very glad that AlphaGuilty and Chainstack are partners now, that we are using your technology to develop, to make it like in the most quick and secure way possible. So thank you guys for being with us. We love working with you already, and I believe that we can do productive things and like big things together.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Adrian. I appreciate it.
Thank you too, man. See you guys next time, and see you, Ivan, also next time. Thank you for the convo. Bye, everyone.